I hope you guys are having a good Monday and being respectful to your sub. So here's a review for your quiz. In this first problem, we just want to find this missing length here. So if we know the whole thing is 12, DE is 7, all you have to do is subtract. So 12 minus 7 is 5, and that's it. So on this problem, we want to solve for x. We still know that the whole segment is 13, so if we add AB and BC, we just set that equal to 13. So 2x minus 4 plus x plus 5 is 13. We can combine like terms, so 2x and x is 3x, negative 4 and 5 is 1. And then I know you guys know how to solve this, so if we subtract 1 and divide by 3, you get 4. So this problem tells us that A and B are collinear, so that means they're on the same line. B is between A and C, so if we draw a picture, then we have A, B, C. My problem tells me that AB is 11. The whole thing AC is 16, and we want to find BC. So just like number 1, we just subtract, and we get 5. Here we're doing distance formula, so hopefully you remembered that distance is the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. And again, it doesn't matter if you do x1 or x2 first, as long as you do the x's and y's in the same order. So if we find our points over here, down here at the bottom, we've got negative 4, negative 1. And then up here we have negative 2, 3. So there's our x1, y1, x2, y2, so we can plug it in the formula. So negative 4 minus negative 2 squared plus negative 1 minus 3 squared. So remember, you only want to type what's under the square root in your calculator, not the actual square root. So when you type it in, you get the square root of 20. We know 20 is not a perfect square, but we can simplify. We know 4 times 5 is 20, 4 is 2 and 2. So we can pair up our 2's. So then your final answer is 2 square root 5. So doing the same thing here for number 5, we've got x1, here we go. So we got x1 and y1, x2 and y2. So our formula, square root 1 minus 4 squared plus negative 8 minus 0 squared. Again, we don't actually type the square root, just what's underneath the square root in our calculator, and when we do that, you get 73. And hopefully you know that 73 can't be simplified, so you're done. Next, we're trying to find the midpoint. So our midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma y1 plus y2. Let's try that again. So x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So remember, since it's midpoint, your answer will be a point. So if we plug in negative 4 plus 2 divided by 2, and negative 3 plus 7 divided by 2, we know negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2, divided by 2 is negative 1, and negative 3 plus 7 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. And that's it. So this one's a little bit tougher. It gives us the midpoint already and one endpoint, and we want to find the other endpoint. So we have to plug in what we know. We know the midpoint is 5, 0. Our x1 is 10, but we don't know the other x. Our y1's -1, but we don't know the other y. And then remember, we want to solve this like two different equations. So 5 equals 10 plus x over 2, and 0 equals -1 plus y over 2. And then we solve both equations, multiply by 2. So 10 equals 10 plus x, subtract 10, and x equals 0. Multiply by 2 on the y, gives you 0 equals -1 plus y. Add 1, gives you y equals 1. So our other midpoint is 0, 1. Our other endpoint, I'm sorry, not midpoint. So to name the angle in 3 ways, remember first we can name it with the number, so angle 1. We can also say angle KJI or angle IJK. And then you can also name it just by the vertex angle J. So just tell me 3 of those 4 ways. So same thing on number 9, we've got angle 3, angle PQR, angle RQP, or just angle Q. Again, you just have to tell me 3 of those ways, not all of them. So this next one tells me we want to find STU. So we want to find this big angle. If RTU is 29, if I can write it here, and STR is 80, so that's really easy. We just add 80 plus 29, and you get 109. Same thing for this one. It tells me that JUV is 85, and TUJ is 84, and we want to find the whole thing TUV, so we add them. 85 plus 84, and hopefully that gave you 169. So now we want to classify each angle. We know this first one is obtuse, greater than 90. Our next one is a straight angle that's equal to 180. Here we've got acute, less than 90, and a right angle is equal to 90. So on this one, we want to find the value of x. Well, hopefully you remembered that when these angles are across from each other, they're vertical angles and they're congruent. So all you have to do here is set 4x plus 3 equal to 71 and solve for x. So subtract 3 and divide by 4. And 68 divided by 4 gives you 17. Same thing on this one, vertical angle, so you set them equal to each other. And solve for x. Subtract 2. Divide by 3. And x equals 22. Okay. This one's a little bit different, so we want to find the measure of angle B. First thing hopefully you notice is that this is a right angle, so we know that's 90 degrees. So all you have to do is subtract 90 minus 31. And hopefully that gave you 59. So this one doing the same thing, but instead of equaling to 90, these are on a straight angle, so this equals 180. So 180 minus 53. And that gives you 127. Okay. Here we want to solve for x, so kind of doing the same thing we did in 18 because it is a 90-degree angle. But on this one we don't know any measures. So we have to add these two angles up. So 3x plus 1 plus 2x plus 9 and set it equal to 90. So if we combine like terms, we get 5x plus 10 equals 90. And to solve for x, we want to subtract 10 and divide by 5. So you get x equals 16. Okay. On these, they kind of look like vertical angles, but actually they're on this straight line, so they're supplementary, so they add up to 180. So add them up, set them equal to 180. Again, combine like terms, and solve for x. Subtract 4. Ooh, 176 and divide by 8. And you get 22.